Hello, Honors Algebra students. Here's another video from Mr. Lawrence. This one is specifically on parallel and perpendicular lines when we're talking about horizontal and vertical lines. But before we actually get to it, do me a favor. Take a minute and see if you can write the equations of all the vertical lines, the red ones, and all the horizontal lines, the blue ones. Okay? So go ahead and pause the video. All right, well, if you haven't figured it out yet, the line A, every single point on line A is going to start with -8. Yeah, this is -8, 0, this is -8, 1, -8, 2, etc. The equation for line A is x equals -8. Why? Because the x-coordinate is always -8. Always. There is no point on line A where the x-coordinate does not start with, the point does not start with an x-coordinate of -8. So it's just simply x equals -8. So what's the equation of line B? Well, it must be x equals -3. Hey, wow, I was a poet and I didn't even know it. All right. Then, of course, C would be x equals 2. And D would be x equals 9. So I don't care where the vertical line is. If it's a vertical line, its equation will always be x equals whatever the x-coordinate is. The y-axis is a vertical line, isn't it? Yeah. What's the x-coordinate of everything on the y-axis? Well, 0 something, right? 0, 1, 0, 5, 0, -3. So the equation of the y-axis must be x equals 0. Now, not dissimilar. The blue ones, the horizontal ones. What do you notice about this line? Every single point on it has a y-coordinate of 4. That's right, every single point. So the equation for f must be y equals 4. Yeah, because the y-coordinate is always 4. Well, that means g must be y equals 1. H must be y equals -2. And then I must be y equals -9. All right, so now that we've done that, let's go to a problem. This one says, find the equations of lines that are parallel and perpendicular to x equals 4. Well, I know x equals 4 is a vertical line, right? So a line parallel, let's do the parallel one first. A line parallel will have the equation x equals whatever the x-coordinate is. Well, if you look, it says, and that passes through 8, -3. Well, what's 8? 8's your x-coordinate. The parallel line is x equals 8. Yeah, because the first line was vertical, its equation was x equals 4. A parallel line to that would be vertical, so it's going to be x equals whatever the x-coordinate is. If you had a different point, if it said and passes through the point, say, 10, -1, well, then the equation would be x equals 10. Okay? Now to do the perpendicular one, if my original line was parallel, my original line is vertical, excuse me, a perpendicular line to that would be horizontal. Right? And we learned just a few minutes ago that horizontal lines, I'm not sure what just happened there. That's okay. Let's see if I can get rid of that. I can. All right. The equation of a horizontal line is y equals something, right? Y equals some number. And if I look at my point, my y-coordinate is -3. So therefore, the perpendicular is -3. This equation is parallel to the original and goes through the point 8, -3. This equation is perpendicular to the original and goes through the point 8, -3. Okay, now there's one more example here. And again, this should say passes. I just copied and pasted, and I missed that little typo there. I want you to find the equations of lines that are parallel and perpendicular to y equals 7, and that pass, oh no, it's not supposed to say passes, silly me, and that pass through, oh, and that passes through, yeah, it is, the point -2, 6. All right, I want you to pause the video and see if you can come up with them on your own. Okay, here comes my solutions. I'll do parallel first. Well, I know that y equals 7 is horizontal line. My line parallel to it will be horizontal, so it'll be y equals, and I'm going to come over here, and there's x, and there's y. The y coordinate is 6. The parallel line is y equals 6. To do perpendicular, I must have a vertical line. Vertical lines are perpendicular to horizontal lines. So therefore, since it's vertical, my equation will be x equals. Well, what does x equal? Well, since it's going through negative 2, 6, the x coordinate must be negative 2. And there you go. We pray that Mr. Lawrence give you like 5 of those on a test because they're so easy. All right, I hope that straightens things out for you. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.